The chicken crossed the road. Why? I'm Stephen Galloway of the Hollywood Reporter. Welcome to HowDoWeHuman. This is the podcast where we talk about all the weird and uncomfortable micro moments in life. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Benning.
I'm one of your hosts, Evan Cox, and I enjoyed that impression.
It's perhaps my most niche impression.
It's very specific.
Very specific. What's your most niche impression, Evan?
Oh, man. I do a good impression of my, I don't even know what to call him, my sister's father-in-law. It's so niche.
Hit us with it.
Well, the impression goes like this, because this is what he was talking about. It's a rock crusher dome, and that's what you use to drop the rock in there. It's a rock crusher dome.
Lorne.
How's that?
Lorne Michaels.
Lorne?
Hire him. Hire him, Lorne.
Look.
Hey, today we're not talking about Evan's sister's father-in-law. We're talking about crossing the street. Something so much more interesting.
Alan's very interesting.
I don't mean
love the guy.
I don't mean to disparage Alan.
Please.
I just mean that this is a topic that you might see come across your podcast feed and be like, have these guys just run out of shit to talk about? Maybe.
I'd say no, because we started near elevators. So we're still here.
Yeah.
This is the whole
true.
This is it. This is it.
Evan, how are you doing?
Big inhale.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm doing okay. What day is this coming out? This Halloween just happened.
November 4th?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, that's right. Okay. So Halloween just occurred. We're now officially past that, but I feel like there's a Halloween hangover that lasts a while.
We're living in the shadow of Halloween. Would you not agree?
The shadow of ghouls. I would agree. I am mad at myself because I've completely failed to... I was really excited to decorate for Halloween, and I didn't. And I'm saying this in advance because I don't think it's going to happen between now and a couple days from now.
Tomorrow?
Tomorrow! So we're recording the day before Halloween. It's not happening, kids. Sorry. I'll get some candy and then eat it all myself, but you're probably not.
This is your first Halloween up in the mountains, yes?
Yeah. It's my first Halloween having a house.
Yeah.
But it is, I think we just kind of found it's very expensive to decorate a house for Halloween.
Of course.
And we were at Joann Fabrics. I'm like, ooh, look at those skeletons. And they were $40 for a plastic skeleton. I'm like, what the fuck are we talking about here? This is bad. Anyways, that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about having gone and checked out, Lewis and the gang at Target.
Of course.
Not the Target kitty corner from the school we went to. The Target.
Yeah.
In
the
this
one
area.
that's now close to where you live.
That makes more sense. So I'm walking around here. And I'm looking around with the optimistic thought that maybe I will. Maybe I'll decorate for Halloween. Let me see what they've got at Target. Things can be cheaper there sometimes not. And all of a sudden, I'm startled. And I don't even know how to... maybe I show you this first and see if you have any idea why I was startled.
Okay.
You ready for this?
I am ready. Give me a visual clue.
Now, what do you think scared me here?
Okay, so for audio-only listeners, we're looking at two witch costumes in front of what looks like a hot dog costume. It looks like a wall of food related dog costumes, but in front of it two child witch costumes in mannequin on
Yes.
mannequins.
And if you do want to see this, go to youtube.com/@HowDoWeHuman.
Yes. And you can see that there's a little pop-up that says edit your images using AI. And we've chosen not to.
This is not edited.
I think that what startled you is that you thought these mannequins were real children.
That's a good guess. No. I saw this frame here because this is.
Okay.
I thought this was a mirror.
Oh.
And I was like, is there technology to make me a vampire? To make a mirror where the person doesn't show up in it? And it's not. It's a cutout, and that's the store behind it. But for a brief moment, I really thought I was a vampire. Is that reasonable?
I mean, I'm going to say yes, because I don't know why a store would have a cutout
right?
That is a photo from an aisle in the store and put it on an end cap like that. Like, I don't know why you would do that.
I don't know. So, yeah. It's just a hole. There's no...
Okay.
I don't think there's a purpose for it other than to see more products. But I thought it was a mirror, and I didn't like that experience. So I was quick to find out I was not a vampire, by the way.
So it was an arch and you could see through the store?
Yes.
Okay. I thought you were saying that someone took a photo.
See, that would be
as
brilliant.
I do my millennial pantomiming of a camera.
Yeah.
And then pasted that photo on this like black brick backdrop.
That'd be smart.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like a Looney Tunes.
I see what you're saying.
I thought you were saying it was a Looney Tunes display. Like a Wile E. Coyote painting the end of the tunnel on a rock face. But no, it was actually, you could just see through.
This is,
another. Okay,
looking through
now
to
I
the rest of the
understand.
store. This is a cutout. And I assume in this corporate capitalist world, the idea being, hey, while I'm shopping for these, I can see other products behind me.
Sure, okay.
But that really insisted that I might be a vampire to me.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. That's all I wanted. I wanted to hear it was fair. Chris?
And it was, yes.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right. This past weekend, you're going to be shocked knowing me, Evan, that this could be a thing I did over the weekend. But
I'm ready.
One of my wife's friends won a raffle, and the prize was a private in-home wine tasting.
Ooh.
And originally it was like, well, Chris doesn't like wine, so we won't include him. You had to like meet, you had to have like a certain number of people or something. It was like you and for a group of 10, a private, wine tasting or whatever. But somebody dropped out. And so it was like, we need another body. And I have a body. So I was called up from the minors up to the big leagues to attend this wine tasting and sample.
I thought I didn't have a body.
Wines.
You found out you did have a body.
Yeah, it all comes together. And just you wait, we're going to talk about the voting body in a little bit. But anyways, I attend this wine tasting. I'm going to sample these like 8 or 9 wines. And my wife was like, I think this might be like an MLM style presentation where you're expected to make a purchase. But this guy shows up and he's very good at his job.
Good for him.
But it was also like, maybe it's because I'm not that into wine that I wasn't as affected in this way as the rest of the group was, because he'd pour us little samples of each bottle, and then he'd be talking about them. He'd be like, don't sip it yet, let me tell you what you should be smelling or tasting, or all these different things.
Gaslighting.
Yeah. And then he was so he would be like, oh, you smell like fresh flowers or whatever. And it was like, anytime he said any of those things, every single person except for me would be like, oh. And I was like, I mean, yeah, I'm no expert, so I don't know what I'm supposed to be looking for or anything, but it seems like we're really playing it up for this guy. And I don't know. I don't understand it. Because isn't the only thing that matters how it tastes? I know you're like, a big part of wine culture is the smell, and how aromatic, how full body is it, speaking of bodies. And at some point there's a break in the tasting, and the way that it's worked out, people are going to get snacks, but the way that it's worked out, we're all in a circle. And it just so happens that I'm the closest one to the guy leading this tasting. He called himself a wine consultant. He said he didn't like sommelier because he felt like that was pretentious. But a lot of what he was saying felt pretty pretentious to me. He was talking about how there's like a 16-year-old bottle of wine that he has. And he's like, sometimes life just goes by so fast, and you
end up with,
you're like, where did the
wine.
years go? But then you remember you have a 16-year-old bottle of wine at home, and you're like, at least I have something to show for those last 16 years. What the fuck are you talking about? But anyways, there's a snack break. He and I are sitting there, and he turns to me and he tries talking to me about wine. And I kind of had to be like, oh, no. Like, you don't understand, sir. I'm body.
I'm body. Clearly.
I'm the dumbest one here. You don't want to talk to me. And so I think he, was disappointed that I wasn't as passionate about wine as he was. And for that, I apologize. I'm going to head to my notes app. I'm going to type out an apology and post it. I'm so sorry.
That's fair. You were the body, not the nose.
That's true.
I love wine, and I spent a little time trying.
I love wine. Am I right?
That's mostly what this podcast
is. That's my passion, my guy. How does this complaint smell?
I wish I could tell you. Smell-o-vision coming to podcast soon. We broke into visual. Soon you'll be able to touch us.
Yeah. Reach out, touch us.
Reach out and touch me. Nah, wine's just funny. I like it a lot. And gotten a little better at like knowing how to find a good bottle of wine. But it's like, yeah, at the end of the day, it really is like, do you like it? What type of wine do you like? There isn't a catch-all like, yep, that's the wine everyone who tastes it will love.
Right.
No, and a lot of wine isn't actually supposed to be aged that long. So I assume he knows.
I mean, he did point out, that there were some that he was like, you don't want this one for, more than like 3 years or whatever. Like, so he was knowledgeable for sure. Very charismatic, very a good presenter. But yeah,
love that. We love that for you.
Not somebody who was happy to talk to me.
That's tough, but I understand. It's not fun being that person in a conversation.
Yeah.
Because the only alternative outside of leaving is to say, like, I actually don't know these things, so maybe you could teach me? Now you've got this guy teaching, and that's too much.
Yeah, I
One-to-one.
mean, I told him, I was like, hey, I don't, like, we've sampled like 4 wines so far, and it's maybe the most wine I've had in my life. So like, I don't know that I'm the right person to be talking to. And he was like, no, that's okay. Like, take advantage of this. Ask me all sorts of questions. I was like, I don't think you understand. I don't even know what to ask.
Yeah.
All I want to know is, when I taste this, does it taste good? That's it. It's the only question I have.
You should have just asked him that straight up. When I taste this, does it taste good?
Yeah.
We gotta cross the street.
Hey, you're the expert. Does this taste good to me?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
Right,
you're the
we
expert.
gotta cross the street. We gotta cross the street.
We gotta cross the street.
This street's getting tense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From unhoused people, Evan. In poor taste, my man.
Those not my words.
Let's talk about crossing the street. Have you ever done it?
Mm-hmm. I've done it. Across the street to get to the ballot box.
Whoa, surprise, bitch. Election episode.
Happy election day tomorrow. Or sad election day. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yes, I do a lot of street crossing. And what occurred to me right as I was getting, like, we were talking and something popped into my head, I was like, oh, living up here, there's not a lot of crosswalks. I can think of one crosswalk where, like, there's not even a light at that crosswalk. I can't think of any of those where there's a traffic light, it goes red, and then a walk sign happens. Just one, like, push the button and it'll light up so people stop for you. Everything else is just stop signs and keeping your wits about you. And that didn't occur to me till now. That's very odd.
Interesting. Well, the reason, I guess that sort of segues into the reason that I wanted to talk about this. Is like essentially jaywalking, which it sounds like you have to do more often than not, just based on crosswalk availability.
Absolutely.
I walk to we've talked about this before. There's a bus that can shuttle people back and forth between the building I work in and where they have us park.
Right.
It's a short enough distance. It's like 0.4 mile walk. And so I just walk it every day to and from work back to the parking lot. And at night, when I leave around, 11 p.m., obviously the streets are less busy. There is a crosswalk, or I can jaywalk. Because you cross the street, then you turn and walk a little bit longer to get to the lot. So I can either do that, or I can, go along the other side of the street until I'm parallel to the lot, and then cross whenever I have an opening or whenever I freaking want.
Whenever you please.
I typically have found that if I'm walking with coworkers who are my friends, they all jaywalk. So I jaywalk.
Yeah.
When I'm walking by myself, I wait for the little walk signal at the crosswalk. And I don't know why that's the biggest source of peer pressure in my life is jaywalking.
I know that that peer pressure. And I know I'm also a crosswalk user.
Yeah.
I jaywalk. It happens. Or like I'm thinking of Elma. Like if I'm parked on one side of Main Street and there's just no cars around, and I went to the store, the Dollar Tree. I got to go across. Yeah, I might just jaywalk. But even then, like I still might stop and use the crosswalk. I might just stop and
Yeah.
wait for that little signal to let me know it's okay to go, bro. That's probably weird. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen people, especially when there's no cars around, people who will just use that road to go 100 miles an hour for no reason.
Absolutely.
So I guess there is that maybe is why I'm less likely to do it. I don't know. When I do jaywalk at that particular thing, I do still hit the button for the crosswalk to
Mm-hmm.
have like a guaranteed stop in traffic from the other side.
Yeah.
And that makes me feel a little better. But it does, like, I know I should be using the crosswalk, but sometimes I get to the crosswalk right at the end of when the walking sign would have been. And now I've got to wait for all the traffic
That's
to go
terrible.
by. And then, got to wait for the green arrow for left turns to go by through the crosswalk. And then I can go. Or I can just walk a little further, make sure there are no cars, and then just get across. So it's
Yeah.
like I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. I feel awkward jaywalking, but also sometimes I feel a little awkward waiting for the crosswalk while everybody else getting out of work just jaywalks and
Yeah.
gets their way faster.
That's one particular like I feel like is if I let's say I'm just naming the places I've lived. Back in Seattle or LA, busy city.
Yeah.
There's a crosswalk and no cars around. I'm down for whatever reason. I'm just down to wait for that walk signal to come. But sometimes, if I'm standing there waiting and there's no cars around, someone else will. I don't know why this feels worse to me. They will jaywalk across the crosswalk, just right past me. Use the crosswalk, but not wait for the signal. And I see that as 100%. That's totally reasonable. That makes all the sense in the world. There's no one anywhere near here, but I'm going to keep waiting. I used to change and go, yeah, they're right, and I'll walk with them. No, I stand my ground now. We'll stand your ground, guy.
Yeah, you're big. Ever since you moved to the mountains, I feel like you got
Yeah.
really into stand your ground.
Yeah, at the crosswalk. Is
At
that
the
what you?
crosswalk. Um, Speaking of the crosswalk, let's
Yes.
say you get that beautiful, pristine little walk sign, and it's time to cross. But a car needs to turn, either a
Oh
right
yeah,
turn
that's
through the
tough.
crosswalk or a left turn coming towards you. Do you see that and then do what I do, which is the little jog, like speed up a little
Ha,
bit, like, hey,
ha,
I know you're waiting for me, I'm gonna help you out, buddy? Or are you
yes.
like, no, it's my turn to walk,
This is my
and
moment.
I'm gonna take my sweet time. Not my sweet time, but just continue at my normal
Yeah.
pace.
I feel like I used to hustle more. I probably still do if there was a hidden camera on me.
Yeah.
You might see me
Just like
hustling.
the most boring episode of like, what would you do? It's just like just watching people cross the street. Oh, the
Phew.
little wave that's
Uh,
like, thank you for allowing me to cross when I'm allowed to. Like,
that is a general thing. I do wave it the cars. Hi.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, are you Lightning McQueen?
But yeah, maybe it's another episode. But like, I'm finding myself really slowing down. Not slowing down, just hurting more and
Sure.
realizing like I need to slow down. I tend to be very fast, just walking around with a weird speed for no reason. So
You
I
have the
think
need for
it's
it.
time. I have the need to slow.
Hmm.
I have the go ahead to slow.
I don't know about that.
I'm in the know to slow. Anyways, I feel like nowadays it's tough to test because I have no crosswalks around here, but I don't think I would jog anymore. My knees are bad.
Yeah, I mean, to be clear, it's like I'm not like jogging, but I'm like doing the fake jog of like, oh, I see. I'm doing the like the
Here I
polite
go.
little
Hustle.
like I'm doing the hustle. Yeah.
Yeah. Da, 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 da. On that, like we need to.
Do you do the
And again, my
Soldier Boy through
knees.
the crosswalk?
I was gonna say, and this is a bad idea for my knees, but I'm gonna do it anyways.
Okay.
Line up at the crosswalk like you're on blocks at the Olympics, getting ready to do a 100-meter dash, and then as soon as that light switches, run full speed across. That'd be fun.
That'd be fun. That is a bad idea though.
I have seen cars blow through lights.
Exactly.
Danger.
Yeah. Speaking of things to do in the crosswalk, were you ever, when you lived in LA, were you ever driving around and had to stop at the stoplight for James Corden's Crosswalk the Musical, where he brings people out and does a little musical performance at the red lights?
This is new to me. And
This
I
is
hate
new to
this.
you.
This is new to me.
You never
Get outta
saw him do I believe it was Cinderella, where he was dressed as one of the mice and he was thrusting the air right by somebody's driver's side window.
I don't like it.
Let me see if I can find that for you.
No, I'm a miser for that sort of improvised jolliness. I don't have time for it.
All right, I'll mute the video, but I'm gonna share.
Okay.
I'm gonna share it in a moment once I wait for this advertisement to stop.
It's once you wait for the crosswalk sign to change.
So the premise of Crosswalk the Musical, Evan, was that the crosswalk outside their studio, when the light would turn red, they would, James and dancers and singers and a few celebrity guests would come out and do a little musical performance. And then when the light would turn green, they would be like, "Oh no, we got hurry, get out of the crosswalk." And one of them was Cinderella. So there, I believe that's Camilla Cabello, maybe. So here's James Corden. He's right up at your driver's side window. Bang, 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 thrusting those hips. That never happened to you? You may be entitled to financial compensation.
No, that did not happen to me. The only thing I had James Corden rudely interrupt was a Coldplay concert I was at.
What did he do?
He got invited out to sing a song with them.
So less rudely interrupted and more invited on stage.
It was an interruption to me.
Yeah,
Also, an
fair.
assault on the senses because it was after Prince died. And they were like, we're going to have someone come out and sing Purple Rain for you. Like, wow, this is going to be awesome. And it was James fucking Corden. Why? That's all. I do. We got to go back. We got to do it.
Are we rolling back?
We're rolling back to the
Evan's
future.
favorite thing.
Marty! Zoinks!
Yeah.
Scooby! We've got to go back! Is there something here? Christopher Lloyd as Shaggy?
Christopher Lloyd as Shaggy. Sure. There's something here.
Glad to hear it. When you're a kiddo, you got to learn about these things. Crosswalks, you got to go across them. You got to wait for the sign. Don't get hit by a car. Look out. Look both ways, etc., etc. You're at school. You got that crossing guard. Oh, come on, kids. But all of it in the service of the idea, and maybe it's different for other people, and this is true, kind of, but the idea that jaywalking is illegal.
Yes.
You can be arrested for this. You could be ticketed for this. I've seen people jaywalk every day I've been alive and gone outside, which is not as many days as it sounds.
Yeah.
Maybe 100 tops I've gone outside. I've never seen a cop give a flying fuck about someone jaywalking before. And at this point, it doesn't feel like it's remotely illegal. Is it? I feel like I wouldn't be shocked to look it up and find out, no, it's not actually a law anymore.
Well, yeah, I feel like I heard that in LA or I don't know if it was in California or just in LA that like it's not a law anymore.
Oh man.
I'm I don't know if that's true, but that's what I feel like I've heard in the last 3 to 5 years. But I wouldn't be surprised if it was illegal other places and the cops are essentially like, this is the least of my problems. Unless I have a quota to fill, I'm not going to waste my time.
Yeah, this is wild timing.
As of today, it's illegal to jaywalk.
As of today, it is legal to jaywalk in New York City. Wow. Which I'm there right now. When you're listening to this episode, I'm in New York for a work thing. I'm going to be jaywalking all over the place. But people jaywalked there all the fucking time. Last time
of course.
I was there. That's what they do. That's the whole thing. But it is now
it's legal. Like every movie I've ever seen set in New York has people jaywalking and all the like taxis honk at them.
Yeah. It's the vibe. You don't get it. You don't live here. It's New York. We've got bagels, cheap Chinese food, pizza pies for $2. You're gonna want to jaywalk for these pizzas.
I'm not saying that pizza or bagels are not like, good in New York, but doesn't it feel like New Yorkers think that it's the only place in the world that sells those items?
That's correct.
They have these things everywhere else.
Yeah. There's some pretty solid bagels and pizza in Los Angeles. I get it. It's a honestly, I had this thought because getting ready to go to New York, where I'm going to be crossing the street all the fucking time.
Crossing the street. That's the work event. It's crossing the street.
Let's see how old mountain stand your ground bumpkin Cox does in the city. I forget what I was saying. What are we talking about? Crossing the street.
New York,
just New York pizza. I think it occurred to me, as people who live in California, I think the New York pizza thing is exactly the same. And I've had pizza in New York. It is great. but it's exactly the same as In-N-Out in California. And a part of that is it is good and it is wildly cheap. It's inexpensive.
Sure.
Unless you go get fancy pizza in New York. But, like, you can get good for cheap, and that feels fucking great.
Yeah, all right, that's fair.
But if In-N-Out, if you paid $16-20 for just that burger, like, that wasn't worth $20. It's not that good.
Fair enough.
These are just my wild thoughts. I'm pissing off both coasts.
Hell yeah. You're a big middle America guy, right?
I'm a little stinker. I'm a little Wyoming stinkeroo.
Wyoming, you think, is middle America? Interesting.
Where is Wyoming?
I mean, I guess it's towards the middle. I guess it wouldn't be one of the first 5 states I would jump to as middle America.
Listen, there's no wrong answers. Period. I'm looking up maps now. You know what I want to talk about?
I don't. Tell me.
I want to talk about noises. Noises when you're walking across. Because I've found that... okay, I've got a map up now. Sorry, I'll stop sounding distracted in a sec. Where is Wyoming? I have no idea. I feel like an idiot. Where the fuck is... I'm looking at a map. I can't find you.
Share your map.
Oh, there it is. Okay. It's
right.
like between Montana and Colorado. It's
yeah.
Just, yeah. Interesting. All right. So further west than I was realizing. Sorry, Wyoming. Nebraska.
Yeah, now we're talking.
The very center of the country. I found that in different states, crosswalk sounds are different. And it's weird. And I got very accustomed. I can't even think right now which is in most of LA. But I got very accustomed to walk. That guy.
Yeah, that like, guy.
Hey. You over there.
Hey, you.
Walk.
Get walking.
But, and I think this was Seattle, but it also might be LA. I might be mixing the two up. One of them, I feel like it's Seattle, and that Seattle used to be a walk city and has now turned into like a machine gun sound. Are you familiar with this at a crosswalk?
I don't think so. I'm familiar with the, like, boo, boo,
ooh.
Boo.
Oh, yes, I have
the, like,
heard
chirping, beeping noise.
Yeah, that's bad. I don't like that one.
Yeah. I'm familiar with that one. I'm familiar with the walk. These might be our niche impressions. But something that I've come across. I've not come across the rat-a-tat-tat-tat.
It's intense. Ooh, yeah. Wait.
Yeah.
Wait.
I've definitely heard that as well. But the one that by the way, like, just a note for people programming these things. Don't put wait and walk on the same crosswalk. Too similar. Too alliterative.
Listen, I pulled up some sounds on a YouTube video, and this one's close. So it'll give you an idea of what I'm talking about. Share my screen.
It's a very multimedia episode
I
we have
know.
going on today.
This will at least have audio.
Okay, I think I have heard this before.
Let's see this one.
Boylston. Walk sign is on cross. Archway. Walk sign is on to cross.
Interesting. So a lot of them are just someone saying full sentences.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up. Is I feel like recently I've started to get that where, like, you know, walk sign is on to cross, and they'll say the street name too, so that, like, someone. And I don't know why, because it's like, it seems at my first, as it first touches my squishy little brain, it seems like, oh, that would be good for someone perhaps visually impaired. But
Yes.
at the same time, it's like, well, I guess, but also, how do they? This might just be an ignorant thing to ask, but like, how do they know which streets they're at and need to cross? I don't know. I
We
don't
don't know.
understand.
And this is not anti people
No,
with
it's,
disabilities,
yeah, of course,
but
it's the
but
sounds. Yeah.
but they're really getting a big head around here. No, when I worked at Walgreens, we had a customer who would come in once a week, named Scott, and he was deaf and mute and blind, deaf, mute, and blind. So he's wearing a reflective vest. He has a cane. Otherwise, he's by himself. Like, I think the first time he came in, he did come in with someone who explained the situation, and he has this
Hey,
little.
he's gonna be here a lot, so
He's got. Well, he's a very particular guy. He's got a little machine that he types on, or you type on, and then he puts his fingers on it, and he feels pins popping up. So you typing makes braille under his fingertips,
oh, okay.
which was a crazy experience. And he would always get dragon fruit vitamin water, Reese's cups, something else I don't remember. But anyways, this fella, he would arrive on the bus, and every time he would leave, I mean, it would be a tough conversation. You're typing back and forth with him. He'd get angry if we're out of something. It could be difficult to communicate.
Yeah.
And then you'd watch him leave, and just like he's crossing the street, he's going to his bus, hopping on the bus. I think I don't know that I could do that. I mean, maybe it's in the cards. If that happened to me, I'd figure out a way. But it always blew my fucking mind. Like, how?
Yeah.
Just memory and feel. I don't know. But timing to get a bus when you can't even have those audible clues. I'm sure you can feel a bus arriving. How do you know it's the right bus?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is, how do you know it's the right bus?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
God bless you, Scott. Good fella.
Yeah. I hope somebody listens to this podcast and transcribes it on your little machine so that you can get the full HowDoWeHuman experience, and
That would be
then get back to us and answer that question.
I feel like Scott would still be mad at me
like?
because we were out of Pringles one day.
I mean,
I get it.
He popped, okay? And then he couldn't stop. And
can't stop. And
you told him it's time to stop.
It's time to
you
stop.
You need to stop.
I got a gripe.
I mean, that is what this podcast is for.
We're here to whine. And I'm going on the other side. I'm getting in a car, all right? Now, pedestrians got the right of way. You're most important. Cars, we got to look out for you. We don't want to hit you. We just want to drive past you. Nobody gets hurt.
Okay.
What kills me, like, I am not the type of person to be like, oh, this is a crossing the street topic. I didn't realize we had so much to talk about crossing.
I know
the street.
You were doubtful that this was going to fill an episode.
Absolutely. But people get, or more, probably still now, but it was a bigger deal early on in smartphone days, early iPhone days, people looking at their phone while crossing the street.
Yeah.
And they're looking down, they're walking slow, they're not paying attention. That whatever. And it didn't bother me because normally they're at the other side of the street by the time I get the getting upset as like, someone might be running a red light. You could get hit by a car. You're not aware of your surroundings. But it seemed mostly like just boomer crankiness of like, the world changed. What kills me though is needing to take a right turn, and there will be someone standing at the crosswalk, looking at their phone. And the sign will change.
Let the hate flow through you.
And they don't walk. They just stand there.
Yes.
And I've literally had it happen before. Twice. Where I'll give a little honk. As much as a car can give a little honk, it normally comes out honk. But a subtle tap, because I don't want to scare them. I just want to be like, hey man, fucking come on, go. And the person's just waved me off like, oh, no, I'm just texting here.
Yeah.
Don't fucking stand at the crosswalk.
Exactly.
What's wrong with you?
Exactly.
You can't be that unaware of your surroundings. I'm okay with you crossing the street. If you get hit, that's your fault. That's whatever. C'est la vie. Why? I would never be so unaware of my surroundings. I don't realize that I'm standing like in line to buy a corn dog.
Yeah.
At Disneyland. And people are like, why aren't you moving? And I'd go, oh, because I'm not getting a corn dog. I was texting. What's the problem? Anyways.
That drives me nuts too. I don't give the little honk though. What I've experienced more is like, I'll just kind of be like, okay, I guess they're not going, so I should turn. Yeah. And then I go to turn, and then they look up, and they're like, I should walk. And then they start, and then we both start to go, and then it's like, then we both stop, and then it's like, well, we got to be alert. If you're going to cross the street, to me, that's the same as being on the road, in the sense that like you should be alert and aware of your surroundings. That might be, and you don't know when the Cybertruck's coming through.
The Cybertruck's coming for you.
Yeah. I think Cars 4 should have the Tesla Cybertruck.
That's good.
Yeah, thanks. And it should be, I don't know if it should be the villain because that feels really on the nose, but it should just be like
that too.
A horrifyingly ugly character. None of the other cars can bear to look at the Cybertruck.
Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah,
I've never seen a Cars movie, but I think I can write this, and I think it'll be better for me never having seen a Cars movie.
Yeah, I think
Ka-chow gonna take up a lot of those pages.
Yeah, I like it.
Mater's going back to just saying "get her done." Because that's my only frame of reference.
He just starts slowly adopting the rest of their catchphrases too. Like, you might be a redneck.
Here's your sign. And the other one.
It's crazy how the not to really just get into Cars lore here, but it's crazy how like those movies are extremely popular because they have like such easy built-in merchandising.
Sure.
But when I was at Disneyland a couple weeks ago, Cars Land used to be the happening place to be. Yeah. And there's still a lot of people there, but like most of the character meet and greets are like, there's always people around, but man, in Cars Land, they are like begging you, like, come say hi to Cruz Ramirez. No wait for Cruz Ramirez. Come say hi to Mater in a vampire costume. No wait, Mater in a vampire costume. Fun. Step right up, Mater in a vampire costume.
I love that. That's I don't know. Yeah, the Cars world it's another world to me. But I love I love that area of California Adventure. I made that sentence confusing because I said the Cars world, but was talking about cars in general, not
The CCU, the Cars
running.
Cinematic Universe.
What's the actual name of that area? It's not Cars Land. It's got a name.
Is it not Cars Land?
I think not.
Is that? I mean,
All right,
is it
here
just?
we go.
I mean, I know the city that they live in the movies is Radiator Springs. I don't know if that's what they call
it
it
is.
in the park, though. I always assumed they just called it Cars Land.
Maybe it is just Cars Land. Well, maybe I'm wrong. It appears to be Cars Land. That's fucking stupid. Can we talk about how short some crosswalk signs are?
Yes. Yeah, it's like it turns to walk and then it gets the countdown going immediately.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, that was a constant complaint for me living in Seattle in particular. I feel like LA is a little slower. They're just like, okay, you can take your time and walk. Something about, it's the Seattle ones. You got these long crosswalks, and it's just like that exactly. Like, go, pause, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then the cars run over everybody. No survivors.
Yeah, I think.
What would Jeff Probst do?
Yeah, well, the tribe had spoken. You know,
tribe had spoken. No survivors.
I want to talk about how, a red light occurs and everybody stops and then the pedestrians go. But for whatever reason in LA especially, that red light turns. Obviously you get the like 3 or 4 cars waiting to turn left that all decide, well, red light is actually green left arrow, and they all go. But people making a right turn seem to just treat that like a green is go. And really just fly around some of those right turns, even if you're in the crosswalk. Or if you're driving in the direction that has the green light. I don't know what that's about.
I don't know. It seems like it should be a higher priority for people. 2 things: to not get hit by a car, and to not kill somebody and have to go to court and or jail.
Yeah.
If you've never... Here it is. Court ordered. Everyone needs to watch Oz. So that's about a guy, the main character, accidentally ran over a kid in his car. He ends up in jail. See how that fucking goes for him. You gotta have this in the back of your mind. It's not a good time. Everyone slow the fuck down. What's the rush?
What's the rush? You're trying to get somewhere because you left late?
Yeah, maybe.
That's the answer for most people in
Ain't worth it.
Los Angeles. Anyway, Evan, is there any election stuff you want to talk about? It's right there. We can almost taste those sweet ballots.
I tasted my ballot.
How was it?
I mailed it in, baby.
Oh,
that's licked the envelope.
That's fraud, according to someone.
I said this in our according to someone. Friggin' people in Wyoming.
Yeah, middle America.
So I mentioned that before we did an elections or voting special.
Yeah.
A couple years ago, maybe. Or whenever. Yeah, I guess 2 years ago, probably. Or was it that early? I don't know.
Could have been 4 years ago.
Could be 4 years ago. 4 more years. HowDoWeHuman? Let us know in the comments.
Make sure, let us know if we were on the ballot in your city or state.
Anyways, I've never voted in person. I've just never done it. And I don't really care.
Why would you? Yeah.
It sounds terrible.
Why would anybody do that unless
people love it?
Unless you're registering that day at the polling place.
Sure.
why would you do that?
I don't know. People like the community of it, getting
Yeah, they like
together.
walking up and seeing those people standing there with their AK-47s.
Yeah,
We're
just
just here
nothing
to make
about
sure
it.
everything's legit. Okay.
Make sure no violence goes down.
Yeah.
Protecting. Okay. You sure about that? But no, so I'm a strong vote by mail person. We were always able to vote by mail in Seattle,
Yeah.
which is essentially where I lived. Yeah, I lived there when I was turned. When I was turned old enough to vote.
Turned into an adult.
And then after moving to California, it was like right after I moved, they made mail voting legal. So I was like, it's good stuff. I've got a little thing though that I've started doing. So
Okay.
we're at.
You fart in the envelope and then you seal it up and put it in the mailbox.
There's this little thing I got going on. No. So Jocelyn and I have been together for a while now, and I always vote by mail. And I talked in that last elections episode, and it's no shame against anyone else. Whatever makes you happy, whatever you want to do. I don't care for the I voted stickers. I don't need them.
Yeah.
Someone else can have my sticker, I thought. But now I've started a new tradition where I send in my ballot, and then I take they now have I voted by mail stickers, and I put it on my shirt. And I don't leave the house, and I don't post it on Instagram. I'm just hanging around my girlfriend. And this is 2 years in a row I've done this, and she has not noticed. It's just a little thing for me, and I'm going to keep doing it until she notices or listens to this.
I think that, like, obviously this would be very difficult to maintain for a year or beyond. But I think you should wear the same shirt every year, keeping the sticker on there, and just add to it until
that's fun.
Until the shirt is fully covered in I voted stickers, and see if she notices that.
I think that's a good idea. That I might have left the sticker on when I threw it in the hamper.
Okay,
So I'll have to check that out.
Yeah,
The start of something exciting.
That shirt's been in the hamper for a year, or
yeah,
okay.
Just keeps falling to the bottom. About yourself, y'all excited?
I mean, look. I'm you mentioned at the beginning, like, maybe happy election day, maybe sad election day. I really don't know which one it's gonna be. So I have my ballot. I am going to turn it in by mail either tomorrow or the next day. But I also don't care for the I voted sticker. I think it is just one of those things that I don't enjoy, which is a look at me device. And I don't care for that.
Everyone pull out your look at me devices. That's what I call my penis. Anyways.
Yeah, that's where you should put the I voted sticker. Like, it's okay, Instagram. God. I'm just telling people I voted.
I voted. Look,
this is my look at me device.
Well.
Wow, I'm glad you said that so that we can skyrocket up the podcasting comedy charts.
I see no better place to end.
Yeah.
I think we did it. Crossing the street. Listen, you think it's simple, but maybe think twice. Look both directions.
Yeah.
See what a role crossing the street actually plays in your life. If you've enjoyed listening to this, leave us fucking reviews and stuff. You're on there. Follow us, subscribe, all that good shit. If you do want to leave us comments and talk to us, we are on Instagram, we're on Facebook. There's full video versions on YouTube. All of those handles are at HowDoWeHuman.
We got all those handles.
We got all those handles. Look. Yeah, go to howdowehuman.com. If you want to leave us an email, you can do it through the contact form there, or you can email us at, I almost gave my personal email. HowDoWeHumanPod at gmail.com. Chris?
Yes. Are you ready for trivia, Evan?
I'm arguably raring to go.
Last week was very exciting because we both got 4 out of 5 questions correct. Now, granted, you are still in the lead for this matchup as we played a 100 questions. I won the first battle, but currently you lead this battle 8-6.
Yeah. That feels good.
You feel like you're going to keep your lead today?
Nope. Okay. I feel like I'm going to cross the street over to Loser Avenue.
All right, let's rock on down to Loser Avenue and see how this goes. Question number 1, Evan. What is the world's southernmost national capital? Wellington, Cape Town, Canberra, or Santiago?
Okay, let me see a map in my head. We know I'm good with maps.
Yeah, as noticed earlier.
I'm between 2. Oh, or am I?
I
Yes.
know. I'm between 3, unfortunately.
Okay, I think I have my answer. Oof. Or do I?
Oh, man.
No, I don't think I I've changed my answer, but I'm sticking with it. I got this. Okay.
I'm between 2 now, and it's just
a trick. Go on.
I'm gonna say I've ruled out, and you can let me know, I guess, if this is the one you're picking. But I've fully ruled out Wellington.
Yeah.
Because I don't know where that is, but I know where the other 3 are.
I believe Wellington's New Zealand, which is not.
That would make sense.
Not to help.
Yeah.
You ruled it out.
I've ruled it out. I'm not picking it. Oh, man.
I'm on a 50-50 shot at this point.
Yeah,
I think I'm going that this might be a trick. I'm going with my original answer. I'm going to say Cape Town.
That's also what I'm picking, Evan.
All right.
I'm going to pick that. I was between those other 3. I ended up my 50-50 between Cape Town and Santiago. But
same.
Okay. We both picked Cape Town. And we're both wrong. It was Wellington, baby. It was a trick.
Where the fuck is Wellington? Is it Australia?
No, because Canberra was Australia.
That's what I thought. And then
New Zealand.
Wellington. It is.
You were right. It is New Zealand. I looked it up.
How is that the southernmost capital?
Because it's the most south, my boy.
I'm gonna need to look at this map. How thick is a standard hockey puck? Says Don Rickles.
Yeah, of course.
0.5 inches, 1 inch, 1.5 inches, or 2 inches. Use my fingers off camera, so
I thought you were going to use your attention getting device. But,
as my hands go off screen. I've owned a hockey puck in my life. I think I have my answer.
I have my answer also. I'm not confident in it, though. I'm going 1.5 inches.
I'm going 1 inch.
You are correct, Evan. That is the correct answer. Question number 3. What was the last Rodgers and Hammerstein musical? Cinderella, The King and I, Carousel, or The Sound of Music?
Hmm. Hmm. I have no knowledge at all of the history of Rodgers and Hammerstein themselves.
Me neither.
Okay. I got an answer.
I do too.
I feel like it's a wrong answer.
Me too.
But it's mine. I just watched the movie version of this again recently, and it rocks. And I believe in the opening credits it said it was a Rodgers and Hammerstein musical, but I'm not even sure it is. So I'm going to say The Sound of Music.
I'm going to say Carousel, and I don't know why. You are correct. The Sound of Music.
Yeah. I was surprised watching that back. That movie's great. I did not like that movie as a kid. Too long, too many songs. Turns out all those songs, fucking bangers. What country exports goods from the port of Durban and or Durban? South Africa, Italy, Denmark, or Panama?
God, I'm gonna go 0 for 5 this round, aren't I?
I know this has been a tough one. I've lucked out on my two.
I have my answer. I'm not crazy about it. I'm going with Denmark.
Either. I'm going with South Africa.
You got it right again, Evan.
I'm on
a roll. Question 5. This is my last chance to get any points on the board. What country did Russian troops invade in 1968? Georgia, Belarus, Latvia, or Czechoslovakia?
Listen, Russian troops have done a lot of invading.
They love to invade.
I believe they've invaded all of these places.
I think you're right.
I have my answer. I have 2 connections to 2 of these places and feel like I am familiar with this, but I could not tell you which one. And now that I've said that, it's going to be one of the other 2.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going 0 for 5. There's no doubt about it. I have zero clue on this. There's one that I think is a trick answer, and that's what. Okay. Like, in theory, I should just go with it because at least I have a level of confidence that it happened. Okay. But I'm trying to think of, history, and I am bad at that.
Well, keep listening because it repeats itself.
Yeah. I'm between 2. And I'm going to pick Belarus.
All right. Of course, because that is the other of the 2, I think it is. Or I think it might be. I'm going with Georgia.
That was the one that I was considering as well. So let's see. I'm sure you're right, but let's go. It was Czechoslovakia.
Ah, balls. I knew it. As soon as I explained myself, it was going to be one of the others.
I did get 0 points in that, but Evan, you got
crushed
3.
Fuck yeah.
Which really helps your lead to a 5-point advantage as you go up to 11 points. You break into double digits. The score now being 11-6.
Now, to look at a world map. Where is New Zealand? Oh, New Zealand's over there. I was going to go there.
You were, yeah, that's true. You were going to go there, and I
had no idea where I was going.
Didn't even know where you were going.
I was straight up, and I wonder if I was thinking this when I was traveling. I was thinking of Iceland, and where Iceland is. I was thinking that's where New Zealand was.
Oh man, that's very different.
Very wrong. I gotta do some Sporkle quizzes.
Why couldn't that have been one of the questions today?
Yeah, maybe in the future it's a geography quiz. Would that be exciting to listen to?
Oh yeah, why hear me get even more questions wrong? Okay,
all right, go. Oh, fuck. Go vote K. Bye.
I like it.
All right.